this product video for MIMS 2020, we'll demonstrate how to use the MIMS Mobile Attribute Viewer and Maptips map tools. Before you can use these map tools in MIMS Mobile, they must first be enabled and configured in MIMS Configuration's MIMS Mobile add-in. Please see our related article and product video for further instructions in how to enable these map tools before proceeding. With your Attribute Viewer and Maptips configuration enabled and synchronized on the client, let's get started. We can see the new map tools in MIMS Mobile's Map Tools toolbar, Attribute Viewer and Maptips. You may have seen from our Attribute Viewer configuration video that we configured the layer Trees. Using our bookmark, let's navigate MIMS Mobile to some trees here in San Diego. You will be required to be at the exact zoom scale of your features in order to identify them. It's important to note that initially the AV tool will only identify features that are configured. Let's go ahead and enable the Attribute Viewer tool. This is a freehand tool used to identify features on the map. You can identify map features by drawing a polygon, line, or single selection. Let's take a quick look at our Attribute Viewer configuration from the MIMS Configuration Tool's MIMS Mobile add-in. We can see that our Attribute Viewer configuration consists of the Trees layer. This layer also has Maptips enabled with the Species attribute. This configuration tells us that upon identifying trees with the Attribute Viewer tool, these are going to be the attributes that will be displayed as the identified results, minus any exclusions such as the object ID, which we marked as exclude in a separate configuration video. Now that we've reviewed our Attribute Viewer configuration, let's see it in action. We'll enable the Attribute Viewer map tool to identify a selection of trees by drawing a polygon. Upon releasing the polygon, you'll see that the Attribute Viewer panel appears with the identified layers and attributes on the left side. We'll refer to these identified features as result models, or simply put, Attribute Viewer results. When multiple features are identified on the map, they'll be grouped together and you'll have the ability to cycle through them using the back and forward arrows. When hovering over a feature result model in the Attribute Viewer panel, the currently hovered feature will be highlighted in the map area. Let's cycle through some of these trees to watch the highlight follow the feature. Notice that the attributes for these result models include the GIS ID and the species, as expected from our Attribute Viewer configuration, and that the object ID is not displayed as it was marked as an exclusion. We've configured the Trees layer as a map tip to display the species attribute. Let's turn on map tips in the toolbar and hover the cursor over a tree. We now see a map tip being displayed with the species attribute for this tree. It's worth mentioning that map tips can be enabled at all times and work alongside other map tools. However, the Attribute Viewer map tool is exclusive and will toggle off when activating another map tool, such as the map panning or editing. Getting back to the Attribute Viewer panel, there are multiple ways to identify layers and their attributes. As we just demonstrated, we used the Attribute Viewer map tool to draw a freehand polygon, which initiated the Attribute Viewer panel itself. Once inside the panel, we have two additional methods you can use to identify map features: Show All Data and Scan Map Extent. The Show All Data will list all features from the polygon selection I made earlier, even those not configured. You can see in the list of result models all of the features contained within that specific selection area. And by selecting one of the result models in Show All Data mode, we can get a detailed view of our feature attributes. By scanning the map extent, this will identify all features in the current map extent. Again, this gives us a thorough list of identified features along with our attributes, even though they're not configured. It's important to note that none of the data in the Attribute Viewer panel can be edited, as this section of MIMS Mobile is read-only. The Attribute Viewer panel can be closed at any time and will return you to wherever you left off prior to identifying features with the Attribute Viewer tool. This concludes our product video demonstration of the Attribute Viewer and Maptips map tools for MIMS Mobile. Thanks for watching.